Yo, what's up? Shout out. Shout out to the whole. Check me out. Make sure you go watch my Clayton Howard interview. Make sure you go watch my Clayton Howard interview, man. I'm gonna put the link up to the top. Share this video. We locked in. We locked in, y'all. Jamil, what up? Ilya Davis, sidebar. Sidebar. Listen, that link is the link to Tiff Love. Rose Wright, what's up? That link at the top is the link to my Clayton Howard interview. Make sure you go check out that interview. Hold up, let me get my chair. Two things right off the bat. Who is that right there? Lewis Jones, what up? I'm gonna try to keep everybody locked in. Sean G, I need y'all to share this video, man. So look, make sure you go and watch my Clayton Howard interview. Click the link at the top. It's the link pinned at the top. When I got to federal prison, John Jacobs, what up? When I got to federal prison, I reported I got sentenced August the 6th, 2014. I was released on a $100,000 unsecured bond. I received the 18-month sentence. I was sentenced at 50 Walnut Street in Newark, New Jersey, 050. I left the courtroom, me and Little Sean, we caught the PATH train from Newark, New Jersey, Newark Penn Station in Newark, New Jersey, back to Journal Square in Jersey City, New Jersey. I need y'all to give this video a thumbs up. I need y'all to give it a thumbs up. Hype this video. From Journal Square in Jersey City, New Jersey, me and Sean caught the 87 bus back down Monticello Avenue to Gardner Avenue, which was where I had a house at that time. That was August the 6th, 2014. A week later, within a week later, I received a letter from the federal office at 50 Walnut Street in Newark, New Jersey. No, it wasn't a week later. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Because after my sentencing, I hadn't been designated yet. I didn't know where I was going to prison. I knew I was going to prison, but I did not know where. I want to say maybe 3 weeks later, I got a letter from the federal office in Newark, New Jersey, telling me that I had to report to Federal Correctional Institution Morgantown in Morgantown, West Virginia on October the 6th, 2014. And that I had to be there by 12 noon. If I wasn't there by 12 noon, at 12:01, I would be considered a fugitive of the law, and the United States Marshals will have a warrant for my arrest to arrest me. I ended up showing up. I self-surrendered, and I began to do my prison bid. Before I went to prison, I had a very bad relationship with Little Sean's mother. Horrible. And I left him. I had to leave Little Sean. That broke my heart, right? That I had to leave my son. He was 3.5 years old. I had took care of him up until the time that I had to leave. I was devastated. I was devastated. So when I got to prison, we had 4 phones. Was it 4 or 5? 1, 2, 3. It was 4 phones on the wall. I was in Girard unit at Morgantown. And when you walked into the unit, the phone was right there to the left. And I remember clearly when I got there, I got on the phone, and I didn't know that I couldn't make a 3-way call. I did not know that. And I got on the phone, and I wanted to check on my son. And I called somebody, I can't remember who I called. Might have been the honey I was dealing with. And I remember making a 3-way call. Now, I don't remember if when I tried to make the 3-way call, that the phone call automatically disconnected because the federal phone system doesn't allow you to make a 3-way call, or if in fact I was successful in making the 3-way call and it went through. I can't remember. I cannot remember. What I really want to believe, and if somebody has did Fed time, please go in the comment section and clear it up as to where does the phone system let you do a 3-way call and the feds can listen, or when you attempt to patch somebody in, does the phone automatically hang up? Rob D, what up? Because the 3-way call would have to be initiated by the person, the first person you call. It has to be. Because obviously the people can't call into the prison because it's a payphone or it's just a regular phone that can only call out. So like I say, I can't remember the outcome, but I know for a fact I made a 3-way call, and I made the 3-way call in order to check on my son, to try to talk to him. And then I told some niggas that was in there that like, yo, I just talked to my son, something, and they told me, listen, Sean, you can't make no 3-way call. You can't make no 3-way call. That is against the rules, You could lose your phone privileges. Um, you could lose good time. You could lose commissary. You could lose things if you did a three-way call. I did not know. I was just trying to get in touch with my son. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this is because nothing happened to me, right? I don't know if they knew I did it. I didn't get written up. I didn't lose good time. I didn't lose commissary. I didn't lose phone privileges. Nothing happened to me, right? And I bet you that within the Federal Bureau of Prisons, that new inmates are attempting to make three-way calls and or are making three-way calls unbeknownst to them that you can't do it, but that they're doing it trying to get in touch with their people about an important call. Okay? This happens every single day. Okay? The only reason it's being made a big deal about Puffy is because he is Puffy. Right? No big deal. What Puffy has to understand and what needs to be communicated to him is that he is a big fish in a goldfish bowl. Everybody is looking at everything that he does. He has to walk a fine, fine line. He can't do nothing wrong. He can't get a cell phone. He can't make three-way calls. He can't steal chicken out the kitchen. He can't get caught with an extra pillow. He can't get caught with an extra blanket. He can't get caught with a bell pepper in his locker. He can't get caught with an extra coat. He can't get caught with an extra pair of pants. He can't get caught with an extra blanket. He can't get caught stealing milks out of the cafeteria. He can't get caught with a cup, the plastic cups that they give us in mainline. He can't get caught doing nothing wrong. Everyone else in the BOP, everyone else, including you, all 114 of y'all, every single one of y'all can get caught with an extra blanket. You can get caught with an extra pillow. You can get caught with a cup from mainline. You can get caught with bell pepper and boiled eggs that niggas stole out the mainline and sold them to you in the unit. You can get caught with an extra hamburger in your locker. You can get caught with an extra piece of chicken in your locker. And the most that is gonna happen to you is that they will take your food, throw it in the garbage. They will take your extra blanket, your extra pillow, your extra coat, and take it back to laundry. That will most likely be the extent of what would happen to you, unless you get busted by one of the COs that's just an asshole and is looking to bust anybody for anything. We had a couple of COs like that on our compound, and both of them niggas was black. One of them they called RoboCop, and the other nigga, what was that nigga's name? I forget his name. But nobody liked them. None of the inmates like these cops because they, right, were like overbearing and would, they would go and look for stuff to put niggas in the shoe for. Now, I don't believe Puffy has been in Fort Dix, what, a week, 2 weeks? I don't think he knew, and I don't know if when you go to orientation, if they tell you that you can't do three-way calls. I don't know. But I don't believe, right, that he knew, or I don't know what the situation is. But they're reporting it in the media that he got busted on a three-way call. This is Jersey Rich, what up? This is all small potatoes. It happens every single day. It's only a big deal because it's Puffy. Right? Number two, the alcohol piece. Let's talk about that. Puffy has never been in state prison. Puffy has never been in federal prison. This is Puffy's first big, his first do you really think Puffy knows how to make alcohol in prison? Absolutely not. Now, this is how prison works. Where I was at, FCI Morgantown, I stayed in the back in B Wing, right? Now, in B Wing, niggas used to hide their cell phones in cubicles where the bunks were empty. The bottom bunk is empty, the top bunk is empty. So, what the dudes that had cell phones would do, in order not to get caught with a cell phone under their mattress, in their locker, or anywhere near their cube, they would hide their phones in the cubicle that was empty. There'd be 3-4 phones in there. So if the COs, if somebody ratted and said, yo, them niggas in B-Wing got phones, and the COs came back there and found the phones, they wouldn't know whose phone it was because it was in a cubicle that nobody lived in. Now, what would happen, what could potentially happen, is the COs, if they started sweating everybody to cough up the names of who those phones were, and they didn't know, the dudes wouldn't tell, the COs would say, well, we're charging everybody back here. All 40 of y'all are getting charged for these 3 cell phones, right? And that is most likely the scenario that Puffy, his name got caught up in. Even in fact, if it is a fake story or a real story, it definitely, you think he got in there in the first week, he knows how to make goddamn alcohol out of what, Fanta, apples, and whatever the fuck it was? Hell no. Right? The COs probably came back there. They probably knew that in the unit where Puffy is staying at, before Puff got there, they probably already knew some niggas back there they already knew that the alcohol or the hooch or whatever, the prison liquor was already back there, and they put Puffy back there, knowing it was already back there. They go back there, they make a big story out of nothing, right? That is the extent of it. It can't be nothing more than that. any other news outlet telling you that any other narrative other than that, they don't know what they're talking about. Number one, any other news outlet telling you something other than that has it in for Puff. Number three, any other news outlet out there telling you that it's something more than that wants Puffy to lose his appeal. That's it. Number four, any other news outlet out there telling you something more than that, they are just creating thumbnails and titles of videos to get you to click on it so that they can get their revenue up. My big brother from America, USA, good evening, my OG. All the best for the big up, Sean G. Free Puffy. Stop and spread those media. Puffy coming home. Free the King in New York. I had my biggest check in June of 2025. I had my second biggest YouTube check in July of 2025. That was a result of all of the views that I got in May, which that check pays out in June, and all of the views and super chats I got in June, that check pays out 30 days later in July. I had my biggest money that I ever made on YouTube from the Puffy trial. Every other YouTuber, every other living organism that has a YouTube account, big or small, that's monetized, that was covering the Puffy trial, had more views than they have ever had in the history of their channel in May of 2025 and in June of 2025. And those YouTube channels got their biggest checks ever in June of 2025 and in July of 2025. After July 2025, my numbers in July went down because the verdict was already out. My numbers went down, and my August check went down. My numbers in August went even more down. My check in September went even further down. That was why I kept, after the verdict, I kept doing videos on every little thing that came out with Puff because I was trying to keep my money up. That's all these people are doing. They're creating clickbait thumbnails, sexy ass thumbnails, very attractive thumbnails, fly thumbnails, and they're making inflammatory descriptions, inflammatory, sexy descriptions to get you to look at the thumbnail, read the title, and say, man, I gotta click on this, and you give it a click, it puts them in the algorithm, and they get their numbers up. That is all this is, man. That is all this is. And those would be the only reasons why people are making a big deal out of Puffy. Maria, what's up, baby? If you are not hearing it from me, what I try to do and what y'all have grown to love about my platform is integrity. I only report, I don't speculate on anything. I try to wait for the actual documents to hit. I try to wait for the actual documents to hit Pacer, and then when it hits Pacer, I go on and I report from the actual documents, right? Nobody else is doing that, especially those YouTube platforms that are anti-Puff. that hate Puff, that wanted to see Puffy go to prison for life for a swinger's lifestyle. That's what they wanted. And the fact that he the fact that he beat the feds at trial, that he won the RICO, right? They are looking for any little thing to trip Puffy up. I don't believe, if he did in fact make the three-way call, I don't think he knew that you couldn't. I don't know what they did at NBC Brooklyn. You know, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. But what I do know for a fact, in my life, I made a three-way call at FCI Morgantown trying to get in touch with my son. Probably I was trying to maybe call his mother. She wasn't picking up the phone. I called someone else and said, yo, call this number and put me on a three-way. And that person said, okay, Sean, put me on hold, and tried to call Sean's mother so that I can speak to her, so that I can speak to little Sean. I did not know that you couldn't do that. That was against BOP policy. But I did do one, 100%. And that's probably what he was doing. I don't know. But what I do know for a fact is that that nigga does not know how to make no prison alcohol. Puffy is in a strange land. He's a newbie. He's a neophyte. Now, he might be living in the same unit, in the same sleeping quarters, in the same area with some other niggas that got some prison alcohol, and the COs came back there and ran down on everybody, and he just so happens to get all of the spotlight because he's Puff. What I hope that this doesn't, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for Puff for his appeal, but the appeal judges probably understand that there's no way this dude, he's not a regular inmate, right? It's 177 of y'all in here. If 177 of y'all were in the BOP, in a prison, a federal prison, and you did a three-way call, even if you got busted doing a three-way call, and they gave you a 300 series shot, or they took your phone privileges away, it wouldn't make the news, right? It wouldn't make the news because we're not celebrities in the sense of a Puff. The alcohol thing is just really outrageous and ridiculous to even insinuate that this man somehow sought out, made, or got involved with prison alcohol. This is just another smear campaign that they have been doing to Puff since the beginning of the trial. Y'all gotta think smarter than that. And if I was able to talk to Puff and to all Puffy's lawyers, send this video to all of Puffy's lawyers, send this video to his sons, and tell them that I said to tell Puffy that he's gotta mind his motherfucking business. he's gotta understand that he's a target. He's gotta understand that he is a target by the Southern District of New York. The Southern District of New York took a colossal beating. They took a huge, humongous loss. And the only way that they can redeem themselves from that loss or to gain any type of tribute or applause is for Puffy to ruin his jail time, to do something stupid. They're gonna try to set him up. They're gonna try to set him up. They're already trying to set him up. I think Puffy knows this, but it's nothing really he could do. There's really nothing he could do because, you know, the inmates in there with cell phones are taking pictures of him. The inmates in there, the inmates that are rats are watching him, and they're eager to give information to the warden, to the lieutenant about Puff so they can get a time cut. You know, it's really gonna be, it's gonna be a hard situation for him because of his celebrity status. There's no other way around it. You could do that time with no problem. I could do that time with no problem. Not only does he have to worry about the rats, the inmates that are rats that are in there, and the COs that are looking for promotion. You know, he's got these YouTube channels out here that experience shame and embarrassment, right? That Puffy was acquitted, that nothing of what they said was true, that their whole platform is geared on lies. So now they're trying to be extra careful in what they say and all that. That's because I held their feet to the fire, and I still hold their feet to the fire as far as ethical, unbiased reporting is concerned. They know I'm on their ass, and y'all know who I'm talking about. All of them. All of them. If you watch what they're reporting now on those channels, now they're real careful. They like, well, I have a source that, you know, they real careful. That's because the nigga Sean G. You understand? I exposed everybody. I exposed the lie. I exposed the prosecutorial misconduct. I exposed the nonsense. I exposed the perjury. I exposed the lies. I exposed everything. So now they know that they gotta walk a tight line. They know because y'all are going over there to them platforms and telling them, yo, Sean G is what's going on. And really, you know, really Puffy can't lay low. I'm seeing y'all in this comment. He can't lay low. It's impossible for him to lay low. He's Puff. It's impossible for him to lay low. He is a fish in a goldfish bowl. Everybody looking in. All the niggas that rap on the compound, every time they see him, they trying to pull him to the side so they can freestyle for him and rap for him so he can sign him to Bad Boy. Every time a nigga that sing R&B in there sees Puff, they want to pull him to the side so they can sing, so they can maybe get signed to Bad Boy. Or they trying to get in touch with him. He can't lay low. There is no laying low. There is no laying low. You could lay low. All 193 of y'all could lay low. I could lay low. But we're nobodies in terms of our celebrity status. Like a Puff can't lay low. So send this video to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals and communicate to them that Puffy is being held to another level of scrutiny that no one in the BOP is being held to. You understand? Nobody is being held to the level of scrutiny that he is. Nobody. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Y'all make sure y'all click on that link up at the top and watch the interview I did with Clayton Howard. And that's it. Well, you know, Puff gonna have to ride this one out. You know, he gonna have to Puff is gonna have to ride this one out. You know, Puff got himself in this mess. You know, he got himself in this mess, and he's gonna get himself out of this mess. You know, one of the things I had to come to terms with that I didn't want to come to terms with was Scant G. I was locked up with a few high-profile inmates that was laid back for real. In the medium and highs, most flew under the Christian umbrella in there. You know, one of the things I had to come to terms with, when I got busted, I blamed, people ratted on me, right? People cooperated against me. People betrayed me. People gossiped about me. People set me up. People were working with the feds against me, wearing wires and cameras. They were doing all of that against me. And when I got busted, I blamed all of them. I blamed everybody to justify in my own mind that the only reason I was in the situation I was in was because somebody fucked me around. And I ran with that. I ran with that for years. I said that what they did to me, I would have never did to them. And when I got to prison, I got to Morgantown, I carried on that same mentality. I was stuck. I was bitter. I was angry. I was mad. And I remember pulling my nigga Ice to the side. Ice was from Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm telling him my story. And I'm blaming him like, yo, man, this one here told on me, man. These niggas over here told, that nigga ratted on me. He said, he's from Atlanta. He talked real country. He said, who the hell is that? He said, hold on, Jersey. He called me Jersey. Hold on. Wait a minute now, Jersey. Wait a minute, Jersey. I hear you now, and I like you. And I don't mean no disrespect to you. I like you, and you all right with me.
You understand? But you had the criminal intent. You understand? You broke the law. You was the one that had the criminal intent to do what you was doing now. Now I like you now. And you understand? You know, you can't expect civilians, you understand, to think like a criminal, because they civilians. When them people come, they gonna tell. What's up, Zimbabwe? When them people come, they gonna tell. And when he told me that to my face. I might have been in there. I got there. Ice got there probably maybe a week or two after I got there. Muslim dude. Still my friend to this day. Still my friend to this day. Told me to my face exactly that, standing right in front of me. And this was the first person that ever told me the truth about the situation. Everybody else was like, oh yeah, they told you, them niggas bad it. And I had to look. I sat down, I left. When I left him, he went one way, I walked another way on the compound. But what he said to me stuck in my brain, man. It stuck in my brain. And I looked at it and I said, man, Sean, he is exactly right. That nigga is exactly right. And this is how he was right. If I would have been preparing everybody's tax returns the correct way, if I would have been following the law, the tax code, it wouldn't have mattered who ran to the feds, who snitched to the feds about me, who wanted to cooperate against me. When the feds looked at my books, they would have said, ain't nothing there. Everything straight up and down like 6 o'clock. But it wasn't, right? I was breaking the law. And I came to the conclusion, I said, Sean, you did this to yourself. If you would have been doing right, it wouldn't have mattered who came. And all of the people that cooperated against me, that knew me, I chose these people to be in my life. I chose these people. You understand? And even the people that were no good, that showed me they were no good, showed me the red flags. I saw the red flags months and years before. I gave them the benefit of the doubt rather than saying, oh shit, that's who you are? Cut, clip, get out of here. And what did they do when the pressure got heavy on them? They shot me in the head. They gave me up. They ratted. You understand? And that's when I took accountability for me being in the situation that I was in. You understand? But Puff is gonna be all right. He's not gonna get a moment's rest. He's not gonna get a moment's rest. He's not gonna get a reprieve because these other social media platforms, they need Puffy to make money.
Everybody hit that like button, man. How many likes I got? Everybody double tap that screen. Give this video a thumbs up. Share. Hype this video up. You know? Right. Supreme clientele. That's like being in a relationship. If you're a woman and you're in a relationship with a man, and if you're a man, you're in a relationship with a woman, and they show you they're a liar. They show you they're a liar. They show you that they're untrustworthy. And you still keep dealing with them. And then later on down the line, they do something to stab you in the back, and now you want to blame them. No. You got to blame you because they showed you they wasn't shit early on, and you kept dealing with them. That's how this go. That's how this go. But this is all going to work out to Puffy's advantage. He is going to be fine. He's going to do this time. He's going to walk these days down. And family too. They the worst ones. Family is the worst ones because they don't believe that you'll fuck them up. They don't believe that you'll bust their head clean to the white meat because they think you are still who you used to be as a kid. But they don't understand that you a different person and you different and you think different and that you will seriously hurt them. But they the worst ones. You got to stay away from them. Puff is going to be fine. If Puffy has to do all 85%, he's going to be fine. If Puffy loses good time, he's still going to be fine. If Puffy loses phone privileges, he's still going to be fine. He's got an out date. If he loses commissary, he's going to be fine. He's got an out date. If he has to do all of his time, that's cool. He's still got an out date. And what I mean, an out date means a release date. If he loses phone privileges, that's cool. He's still got an out date. What we fail to understand and what we sometimes forget is that this man was offered a plea to plea out, to not go to trial, take 30 years. His cellie said it was 40. Take these 40 years, don't go to trial, take this plea, and go to prison. He declined. He went to trial. If he loses trial, it is an elbow. An elbow. See that elbow? What is that right there? Somebody tell me what letter in the alphabet that is. When you go to prison and you hear niggas talking about that nigga there got an elbow or he got two elbows, what do they mean? What does that elbow represent? No, Ray Johnson, not lost. There you go. Supreme clientele. Life, an elbow, life sentence. Puffy was facing an elbow. No out date. No ever seeing his sons again. No teaching his daughter how to ride a bike. No teaching his daughter how to tie a sneaker. No talking to his sons again. No seeing about his mother. No nothing. No nothing. And his out date. Do you know what his out date would have been? Who been in the feds and know what the out date mean when what the out date say when you got a life sentence? Put it in the live chat. then they would have put him in a USP. Talk about it, D-Real. He would have been in a United States penitentiary with that elbow where you got to take showers with your boots on, with your knife in the shower. Deceased. Supreme clientele. When you got a life sentence, right now Puffy's out date says May 8th, 2028. Some other YouTube platform says now it's pushed back to June 14th or whatever. Doesn't matter. When you got a life sentence in the feds, your out date says deceased. Meaning you don't get out of there until they carrying you out in a body bag. That's what he was looking at. So all of this stuff that they're trying to make a big deal about, so what? Small potatoes. Small potatoes. In the grandest scheme of things, small potatoes. Small potatoes. They're not going to leave him alone, Mark. They're not going to leave him alone. Of course he was scared. Who wouldn't be scared? Who wouldn't be scared to face a life sentence, man, on a RICO case against the feds? Any nigga saying they ain't never been scared to go to prison or ain't never been scared to go to trial, they telling a lie. A cold-blooded lie. The fear is the adrenaline that makes you rise to the occasion to handle the adversity, to overcome the situation. That nigga Puff didn't go to sleep, and I'm gonna talk to him about it in the interview. When me and him do our interview, I bet you that nigga didn't sleep for like a month straight. When that trial was going on, that nigga wasn't sleeping. That nigga was nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof in July, scared to death. Scared to death. Scared to death, right? Knowing that the case was nonsense, knowing that witnesses were committing perjury, knowing that the prosecution was engaging in prosecutorial misconduct, and I'm facing a life sentence. I am impressed that he didn't have a heart attack. I am impressed that he didn't have a stroke. I am impressed that he didn't take his own joint. That's what some dudes do. Some dudes can't handle the pressure. Puffy's first interview will be with me. Puffy's first interview will be here on the podcast with Soul on his release. I will do Puffy's first interview. He don't even know it yet, but he know it deep down. He know. There's nobody qualified to do the proper interview that needs to be done other than me. Nobody. Not the interview that the world want to hear. The world don't want to hear some black reporter living in a white man's world who done compromised all of their soul interview Puff about this whole situation. Right? Nobody wants to hear, no disrespect to my white followers and my white subscribers, but nobody wants to hear a middle-aged white female or a young white female or a middle-aged white male or a young white male interview Puff about this whole ordeal. Nobody wants an Asian to interview him, a Latino, African, Caribbean black. Nobody would be, there's nobody better qualified to do the interview more than me. Number one, because I know the trial forwards and backwards, right? Number two, he did fair time, so did I. So we are going to be able to talk about everything that anybody else asking them about prison is only asking them from a spectator standpoint. I'm asking them from real world experience. And I'm the best. And I'm better than everybody. I showed that during the trial. Who had the best coverage in the trial? Who had the best coverage in the trial? Yo, Kais, what up? What's up with the honeys, man? You ever hit that honey again? She ever come back? Who covered the trial the best? Who looked the best? Who was the most accurate? Who was the most ethical? Who had the most integrity? Who was the most factual? Who looked the best? Who had the flyest gear? Who dressed the best? Who? Troy? Nobody. Me and Puffy the same age. What year Puffy born? What year Puffy born? Put it in the live chat. Yeah, I knew you was gonna hit it again. I told you all you had to do was lay back, she gonna bring it to you. And fold up, shut up. Shut up. Why you break my heart like that? Why you break my heart like that? You know I loved you. What year Puffy born? What year Sean G born? What year Puffy born? What year Sean G born? Put it in the live chat. Nate Logan, what up? 1969. And all them niggas in Fort Dix, all them niggas from DC, all them niggas from Jersey and New York, and Philly, and Baltimore, and Atlanta, and Chicago, and Texas, and Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Ohio, Pittsburgh, all them niggas telling him, because they all got cell phones, they telling him, man, that nigga Sean G, podcast was sold. That's what they tell him. That's what they tell him. Podcast was sold. Held you down. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Puff gonna be alright. Puff gonna be alright. And he wanna do the interview with me. He wanna do the interview with me. He wanna do the interview with me. That's my frat brother, man. Fed, fi, fed. Fed, fi, fed. We're gonna talk about the 4 o'clock count, the 9 o'clock count, standing in the commissary line, going to main line, getting chicken on Thursday, hamburger on Wednesday, hummus and cottage cheese on a Friday. Then the next Friday be fish, fake ass fish, fake hamburger meat. We're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna talk about all that. Locked in, man. Locked in, man. I was the best. I was the best. I was the best down there. I was the best. I made sure I went down there to be the best. I used to talk to myself on the train
walking to the court. I'm gonna kill these niggas today. Nobody out there gonna report better than me. Nobody gonna take better notes than me. My notebook better than theirs. My pen better than theirs. I listen better than them. I pay attention more than them. You understand? My memory better than them. I deliver my report better than them. I'm always on time. I'm punctual. I used to talk to myself. It was competition with me. It was competition with me. JJW, fed, five fed. I was the best. I was the best. I was the best. I was the best. My coffee was hotter. My coffee was better. I sat in the back. I sat in the back. Nobody would talk to me. Nobody would talk to me. None of the other YouTubers until later. But in the beginning, they used to look at me like, damn, nigga, you pro Puff? Yeah. So I let the neglect be my ally. I let everyone's neglect of me be my best friend. Cool, you gonna neglect me? Good. Do it. So y'all don't bother me. Don't ask me no questions. I don't want to know nothing. Don't ask me nothing. Watch I beat y'all. Watch I beat y'all because I'm better than you. I report better than you. My lives better than your lives. My notes better than your notes. My pen better than your pen. Sidebar. Sidebar. Mailman D, what up? Sidebar. It was competition with me. It was competition with me. I wear my hat, and I wear the hat to the back with the back part flipped up in the front. Shit to the side. Suspenders. Ain't nobody down there had no suspenders. I was the only person down there with suspenders. My suspenders was better than theirs. They ain't even have none. They ain't even have none. I was the best. Shout out to Puffy's mother. Shout out to Janice Combs. Shout out to Janice Combs. Shout out to Miss Combs. Shout out to his mother. I used to see her down there in the lobby. She'll tell you. I used to say to her, I used to say all the best. I didn't know what else to say. I was scared for Puff. I thought Puff was going to prison, man. Even though I knew he shouldn't have, even though I knew that it was all a lie and all perjury, even though I knew he was innocent, I said, they still gonna jam him up. I thought the feds was gonna go in and threaten the jury and tell the jurors when they were deliberating that if y'all don't come back with a guilty verdict, we're gonna audit all your tax returns, your bank accounts. We're gonna make y'all pay and coerce them to come back with a guilty verdict. That's what I thought. But when the judge, I don't even say the judge's name no more. Do y'all notice I don't say Puffy's judge's name no more? When that judge asked the jurors, says, do you guys have a verdict? And the jury foreman said, we do. And then he said something, can you tell us? How do you rule on count one? When that foreman of the jury said not guilty, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I heard that. I wanted to hear that. When I was going to the courtroom that morning, I wanted to hear that. I knew it should have been that because Mark Agnifilo saved Puffy's life, because Mark Agnifilo's closing argument was better
than Christy Slavic's closing argument. Christy Slavic, the assistant U.S. attorney Christy Slavic, lost the trial for them. Her closing argument was, you throw that in the Dipsy dumpster behind Kentucky Fried Chicken where the raccoons at. Mark Agnifilo came up there. He showed everybody how to do a closing argument. He showed everybody. And when that jury foreman said not guilty, I said, oh shit, he gonna beat it. Then the judge said, how do you rule, what's the verdict on counts 2 and 4, SEX trafficking? The jury foreman said on counts 2 and 4, not guilty. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it, man. I could not believe it. And an overwhelming satisfaction, feeling of joy came over me. I said, man, this nigga done beat the feds at trial. Then the judge said, what's the verdict on counts 3 and 5, the Mann Act? And the jury foreman said guilty. I said, man, cool. We'll take that. We'll take that. That's small potatoes. And then I hung around, and then Mark Agnifilo told the judge that we want Puffy to go home now. We want Puffy to go home not tomorrow, not next week, now, right now. And he was gonna do it until Maureen Comey stood up. That judge was intimidated. He was scared of Maureen Comey. Maureen Comey had him shook. And then he said, let's take a break. Let's take a break and come back at 1 o'clock. Soon as he said that, I flew out of the courtroom. Pew! Pew! Straight to the elevator. So down to the first floor. I went and got my tripod and my 2 phones. And I shot straight up there to my spot. Pew! And I went live. Said, Puffy beat the feds at trial. I was ecstatic. I was so happy, man. I was so proud. I was so proud of him, of Puff. I was happy for Puff. I was happy for his family. I was happy for Foundational Black American Men. I was happy. I was happy that he beat him. I was happy. I was happy for his lawyers. Tinny Garagos, Tinny was crying. Tinny was sitting over there. On the verdict day, normally Tinny, Mark Agnifilo sat here, Tinny sat next to him, Puffy sat next to her, Brian Steele sat next to him, Jason Driscoll sat next to Brian Steele, and then Alexander Shapiro sat on the end down there. But during the reading of the verdict, Tinny wasn't even sitting next to Puffy. She was sitting over there against the wall by the U.S. Marshals. She was sitting over there. And after the verdict, she was crying. Tinny was crying. Would have been way different. I'm proud of Tinny, man. I'm happy for Tinny. I'm happy for Mark Agnifilo. Puffy, I think, was their first client. I'm happy for Nicole Westmoreland. I'm happy for Xavier Donaldson. Nicole Westmoreland, I had never heard of this girl. I had never heard
Nicole Westmoreland, who's that? I hadn't heard of none of them really, but by the time this trial was over, Nicole Westmoreland was a superstar. She saved Puffy's life too. She was the one, Nicole Westmoreland was the one that busted Breonna Bogelin in the lie. Brian Steele, I had never heard of him. He was a superstar. All of them were superstars, man. Jason Driscoll, Jonathan Bach, Alexander Shapiro, Anna Estevillo, all of them, man. These guys, these lawyers are superheroes, man, and their legacy is cemented. Puffy's lawyers' legacy, all of their legacies are cemented in the annals of history. They will be talked about forever. They will forever be linked with the most high-profile trial in the history of this country and being on the winning side. Yes, indeed. Proud of them. Tenny was crying. Tenny was crying. She was so happy. Tenny saved his life too, all of them. Brian Steele, Xavier Donaldson, Anna Estevillo with her cross-examination of Cassie. Alexander Shapiro was like a judge in a defense attorney suit. She better than the judge. Alexander Shapiro knows more law than the judge that was on the case. She better than him. And Alexander Shapiro kept his ass in check. She kept him in check. She kept him in check. She was all over that trial. Alexander Shapiro, she made her presence felt every day. Anytime there was a sidebar, and Alexander Shapiro didn't cross-examine not one witness, she went to every sidebar. If Nicole Westmoreland was cross-examining Breonna Bogelin and Dawn Richards, and Maureen Comey was calling sidebars during her cross-examination of Breonna, sidebar, Maureen Comey would stand up, Nicole Westmoreland was already standing up at the podium. Maureen Comey and Nicole Westmoreland would walk that way. The judge would stand up. I ain't even gonna say his name. The judge would stand up and they all would meet on the right side of the bench, his right, our left, and Alexander Shapiro would always go to the sidebar. She'd be standing right there, making sure shit was going right. Every time. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Last social. Come on, man. You on live. Cut your phone off. You cut your motherfucking phone off. You don't tell me what to do with my phone. I got to leave my phone on in case my son called. Fake profile, boy. If you don't like it, get off my live, unsubscribe from my channel, and get your ass up out of here. You knew anyway. What your name is? Last Social 0305. Fake profile name. Get your ass up out of here. I got a real life. I'm a real YouTuber. I got a real life. I got a son, nigga. Turn my phone off. You turn your phone off. Turn your fake life off. Turn your fake profile off and put your real profile on. What the hell are you talking about? Jonathan Bach. Jonathan Bach. Javier, what up? Jonathan Bach made Maureen Comey say sidebar so many times. I had to go figure out what a sidebar was. She kept saying it. She kept saying it. Chilltown, Communal Park, Kennedy Boulevard, Bergen, Monticello, all that. All that. All that. Grand Street, the Junction. All that. Jonathan Bach saved Puffy's life. Puffy had the best lawyers. 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 Please, brother, don't block me. Yeah, I ain't gonna block you, man, but you can't tell me what to do with my phone. How you gonna tell me what to do with my phone? I'm over 250 million YouTube views worldwide. I've been doing this shit since 2018. This is my business. I ain't got no goddamn studio. I go live from my phone. I got this $29 tripod, and I got two Samsung Galaxy S24s, and I covered the trial with that, and I was the best. CNN was out there, ABC, CBS, Fox News, CNBC, Associated Press, Reuters, BBC from London, all of them was out there. But they couldn't fuck with me though, because I beat them all. I beat them all. I was the best. I was the best. I was the best. Just like Puffy's lawyers was the best, I was the best. Puffy had the best. He had the best. The best YouTube nigga in the world. The best YouTube nigga in the world. I know my brother, but I was speaking in terms of transparency. That's all but much. Peace, peace. I got real life, man. I'm just a YouTuber. I got a real life. You understand? I get allergies. I take Theraflu. I shop at Trader Joe's. I drink milk. I wash dishes. I'm a real person. Just because I do this, don't put me on no pedestal. I'm just a regular nigga. I've got to put gas in my car. I change the oil. I go to the laundromat. I got to have my phone on. Because it might be the $1 million call. The caller ID may pop up and say, Joe Rogan. The caller ID may say Joe Rogan. And I'm going to have my phone off for you with a fake profile and Miss Joe Rogan call. And Joe Rogan called me and said, yo, Sean, come on down, get on the podcast. Then that changed my whole goddamn status. My subscribers go from 187,000 to 292,000. My Instagram go from 70,000 to 113,000. I sell 48 hoodies. I sell goddamn 200 Scullies. I sell 600 books for having my phone on, and you complaining that you want me to turn my phone off, and this is my first time ever seeing you on my page, and you got a fake profile? Nigga, please. I got to be ready, Freddy. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Good luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Good luck is when preparation runs into opportunity. Got to be ready. Got to be ready, man. Stay ready, man. That's why I look the way I look. I'm all cut up. I'm ripped up under this clothes, man. Ripped up. Rose right in the building. I see you, Rose. Rose said, don't pay him no mind. Don't pay him no mind. Joe Rogan might call me. He might call me. If he want to hear the real deal about the case, he'll call me. He might call me. Milton Scott, Diddy coming home? You already know, yo, man. The nigga got to outdate. He got to outdate. He got to outdate.
That's all that matters. And you got it out there. Yeah, you gotta be confident. You better speak life into you. You better say nice things to you about you. You better have powerful conversations with yourself about you. You better pat yourself on the back. You better clap for yourself. You better root for yourself. You better cheer for yourself. Because you the only motherfucker you got. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. Instead of telling yourself all the bad things that you hate about yourself and focusing on your childhood traumas and focusing on your mistakes and focusing on your failures and focusing on what you don't like about yourself, perform alchemy, perform mental alchemy, and turn something common into something special. Turn lemons into lemonade and focus on the good things. Focus on your successes. Tell yourself you're great. Tell yourself you could do it. Tell yourself your childhood don't matter, that wasn't your fault, that if you could have done better, you would have done better. You gotta be kind to yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. A man with belief in his abilities is God in action. DC Pro, you already know what it is. I don't care nothing about none of y'all showing, oh, you arrogant, you conceited, yes I am, you cocky, yep, sure am, that's right, goddamn right, because I've already lived the life of self-hatred. I've already been in life where I hated Sean Gumby. I've lived my life where I despised Sean Gumby. I lived my life where I rejected Sean G. I lived my life where I loathed Sean G. I lived my life where I wanted to be somebody else. I lived my life where I ran from my childhood traumas. I lived my life where I hated myself. So I know what that feels like. But I did the spiritual surgery. I did the spiritual surgery. How you doing? You closing?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, you closing? All right, thank you, babe. I did the spiritual surgery. And I rooted out the cancer in me. I let my old self die. I killed my own self. I assassinated my old self. The old Sean G and the new Sean G had a fight, and the fight was to the death. One of them had to die. And I killed the old Sean G so that the new Sean G could live. And that's who you looking at today. Goddamn right. Arrogant, conceited, and all that. But I can back it up though, because look at how I look. Look at what I do. I'm great. I'm a great individual. Tremendous. I'm tremendous, man. I'm tremendous. I'm the best ever. The best. Love me. Look at how I look. Look at this shit, man. This shit. Look at this nigga, man. Nigga moneyed up. Don't never stop. Yeah. They say I gotta go, man. They're closing out. Sean G. Peace.